The military's best boxers battle it out in the ring. 10 weight classes, 4 services, non-stop action. Who will take home the gold? Will it be the Army, Air Force, Navy, or Marines? Hello, everyone, and welcome to TPC Sports coverage of the 2012 Armed Forces Boxing Championships. And again, a special hello to all those listening on the Armed Forces Network. I'm Van Stokes, alongside of Castle Chalice, a man that has literally covered boxing all over the world. Castle, it's great to have you with us once again.
Yeah, Van, of course. It's always a pleasure to be back here. I mean, this is some exciting boxing here. We've seen it before. We're seeing it again tonight. And, man, to all those out there watching around the world, you're in for some good competition tonight.
Castle, what makes this so exciting?
Well, these boxers are the best of the best. They're vying for Armed Forces supremacy. They're in front of their hometown fans, at least the Marines here in Camp Pendleton tonight, but also around the world.
We are ringside at Page Fieldhouse here in Camp Pendleton, California. First up on our coverage, the 141-pound weight class. Let's get to the action, but first, a quick look at the rules in amateur boxing. The bouts are 3-minute rounds with a 1-minute rest period in between. Judges will be using a computerized scoring system. Blows are scored when the white part of the glove strikes the head or the body, the front part of the torso of the boxer between the head and the waistline. Now, 3 out of 5 judges must register a scoring blow within a 1-second window in order for it to count. Fouls may result in cautions, warnings, or even disqualifications, and the referee can stop a bout for injury, a dominant lead, or whenever the referee thinks that safety might be a factor. Scoring has changed a little bit this year. We'll no longer be able to see the running score. The boxer scores will only be shared with the coaches at the end of the first 2 rounds. Now, the final score will be revealed at the end of the bout. In this bout, Petty Officer Second Class Gary Philpot of the United States Navy faces off against Senior Airman Adam Hassan of the United States Air Force in this preliminary bout in the 141-pound weight class. Philpot has 7 years of boxing experience. In fact, he was a 2006 Virginia State champion. We caught up to him earlier. Let's hear what he had to say.
And of course, in the military, we have what's called the PRT, the physical readiness test, and this, of course, helped me out with that tremendously. I mean, I've never failed a PRT. Always above me on my physical standards, and just staying focused. Because in boxing, you know, you gotta stay focused. Can't nobody take you out your game. Can't let anyone, make you fight their fight. And just staying focused and determined and working well under pressure.
Adam Hassan is from the United States Air Force, stationed at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. He is a St. Louis Golden Gloves champion. He shared his thoughts with us earlier.
Being in the military, we have to stay fit, and, we do have PT tests. And instead of just going to the gym and working out, I find that sometimes it's a bit boring. I'd rather be boxing. It keeps me entertained, and it gets me in great shape. And going down range, you need to be in shape because you just never know what tomorrow brings. And if you're in good shape, it can get you out of a bad situation. So it keeps me, better airman all around. I'm more fit, more disciplined, and I'm more focused.
Castle, how does this one shape up to you?
6'2" versus 5'6". We're gonna find out.
This fight's about ready to get underway. Let's head to the ring.
This operations specialist is stationed with the Commander Carrier Strike Group 10 at Norfolk, Virginia. Weighing in at 141 pounds, he's the 2006 Virginia State Champion. Let's hear a loud roar of applause for Petty Officer Second Class Gary Philpot. And making his way to the blue corner, representing the United States Air Force from the Bronx, New York, he's a cyber transport systems journeyman stationed at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. Weighing in at 141 pounds, he is the St. Louis Golden Gloves champion and the National Brown Gloves champion. Let's hear it for Senior Airman Adam Hassan. And your referee from Cincinnati, Tom Clary.
This is the point at which hard work is going to pay off.
Yeah, you know, boxing, they say it takes place, the hard work that takes place in the gym leading up to the contest is really what determines who wins during the contest, and we're going to see right now who put in more effort in their camp. Look at the height difference already, Van. It's just striking. 6'2" for a 141-pounder. Reminds me of a guy named Tommy Hearns out of the Detroit Motor City with that build right there.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Tom Cleary, our third man in the ring on this bout. 141 pounds. It's a preliminary. The winner will advance to the championship. And coming out quickly is Gary Philpot of the Navy. Nice underhook there by Adam Hassan in the blue. Look at that reach. I'll tell you what, you got Philpot trying to get in the inside and neutralize that reach just a little bit.
That's right. You know, he said in the boxer interviews, movement, hand speed, and pressure were his strengths, and Hassan's pure power. Speed versus power.
I like the way that Hassan keeps his elbows in, keeps his glove in the front of his torso for coverage, but Philpot gets off his shots quickly.
Oh, he sure does. He's throwing about 3 or 4 punches to each one of Hassan. He's also boxing in the southpaw style, which could make for some interesting stylistic problems for Gary Philpot. For Hassan.
You hear leather on leather. It's popping up there. Quickness, I'll tell you, quickness is Philpot's strong suit. He likes his ring movement. He thinks he's got good hand speed, and he really thinks that he could pressure Adam Hassan. And thus far, I think he's kind of been on the money in that regard.
Yeah, notice the way that Philpot's breaking at the waist, almost like Joe Frazier. He's bobbing and he's weaving and he's working his way inside, and that's exactly what he wants to do against a tall, lean Adam Hassan. Hassan, on the other hand, really was going to want to use that jab and keep Philpot and his pressure off of him.
We're midway through round number 1. Gary Philpot gets on the inside now and tries to land some body blows. The nice jab that time by Adam Hassan. Adam Hassan grew up in the Bronx. He learned street smarts, how to take care of himself in the Big Apple before he joined the Air Force. And now he talked about discipline, he talked about focus, and he talked about all the good things that he's gained from boxing. Gets off a left and a right, and then bends his shoulder. Referee says, stop, you need to keep your head up. You can't bend at the waist like that. Friendly word from our third man in the ring. And they go right back at it. Boy, I will say one thing, they come out active.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Hassan. He's getting pretty low, almost giving away some of that height advantage. And he also seems to be willing to trade on the inside with Philpot. Not something I would have expected from the taller fighter.
And there's the bell to end round number 1. It looked fairly even from where we sat. Very, very close, the official score after round number 1. You got Hassan barely out in front of Philpot on a 3-2 count. Let's give a listen to the corner now.
I need 3 times as much work out of you. This guy has no experience, and it doesn't look like you want to hit him. You got to hit him with some power.
That's head coach George Silva talking to his young boxer Gary Philpot. And quite honestly, I thought his coaching was fairly sound, Castle.
Yeah, I mean, the one part about staying on the outside and working that jab, rather, I mean, I love the jab. The jab is the most fundamental punch in boxing, but it's going to be hard to work off that jab if Hassan continues to lay that leather like that. He's going to need to get inside, break at the waist like he was doing in the first round.
Nice uppercut that time by Adam Hassan.
I mean, I really believe that this is exactly where Philpot wants the fight to take place. In close, in fighting, like they're in a phone booth, and keep the height advantage of Hassan at bay.
I like that phone booth analogy. There's not a lot of long launching blows that you can land inside a phone booth. It's got to be up close, in tight, much like you're watching right now. Philpot in on the body, he goes to the head, but Hassan keeps his gloves up.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is, for the lack of experience, maybe just a few years that Hassan has, he seems pretty poised in there. He's throwing some good shots, and he doesn't seem at all timid about standing on the inside and trading punches with Philpot. Philpot definitely has his work cut out for him here in round 2.
Hassan has been boxing for only 3 years. He thinks that one of his strengths might be his power. Meanwhile, nice. Philpot's been in the ring for 7 years.
Yeah, I really like this Adam Hassan. It's interesting, he's got a classic boxer-puncher style. He seems able to stand out there, as you see, pop out that jab and wait for the opportunity, but he's ready to get in there and trade punches from inside. Philpot really is going to need, as his coach said, to pick up the action here.
He will. You know, Philpot spent a lot of time with martial arts, and then he came into the Navy and he began boxing there. So he understands what it means to be aggressive and tough. But being aggressive and tough may not be enough to get you where you need to go.
Yeah, and you
got to have the skill, you got to be able to score.
That's right, and the other thing Philpot is probably doing wrong, at least a little bit here, is he's starting to circle to his left. He wants to get away from that big right hand of Philpot and take advantage of his southpaw style. But Hassan just doing a real good job of neutralizing his opponent's movement.
Round number 2. In this 141-pound weight class.
There's also a sneaky right uppercut there by Hassan. Really throwing some educated punches for a guy with not that much experience. Also showing some good lateral movement as he continues to circle, requiring Philpot to continually be off balance as he tries to find his target.
Down to the final seconds here of round number 2. And Hassan seems to have found his base as round number 2 comes to a close. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for round 3 of this 141-pound bout.
Welcome back to the 3rd round in this 141-pound bout.
All right, there you get a good look at George Silva talking to Gary Philpot. What'd you think about the guidance, Castle?
Well, I mean, it's clear right now that Philpot is down and down big, and he's going to need to change his style. He's going to need to work harder, and he's going to need to get inside and stay on the chest of Adam Hassan if he's going to come out victorious here.
I agree with you on that. They came out of the 2nd round with Hassan leading 10-3. Now Philpot can make that up, but he's going to have to take control, and the way he's going to take control is to get inside and work his way up to the head of Adam Hassan if he can.
Well, you want to know, to be honest with you, Van, I'd like to see more body shots by Philpot. He's got a tough task to go to the head of this tall and rangy Adam Hassan. Hassan's leaving his body wide open, and if Philpot could just bury his head on the chest of Hassan and just go to work, dig, lefts and rights to the body, he may be able to slow Hassan down and maybe score some valuable points in the process.
He might, but right now, there you see Hassan. He's sticking and moving.
Yeah, Hassan doing a beautiful job of classic boxer, puncher style. He stands on the outside when necessary and gets in close when he has to.
You see that right jab extended a little bit by Hassan. Uses the left jab, comes back with the right. Nice combination that time.
Yeah, very powerful punching by Adam Hassan. He said power was his greatest strength, and you really see he's able to turn his shoulder and get that power from his legs, which is the proper way to throw a punch.
Adam Hassan, as I said, came into this round number 3, leading 10-3, and has taken a commanding lead on our books, at least over here, as we go deep into this bout. Oh, there's a nice shot, a nice uppercut.
I tell you what, Van, I think Hassan is trying to stop this one right here in the third. He looks like he's ready to finish this.
It could get an 8 count. It could get an 8 count. But our referee is saying, present yourself, don't pull him under you, and don't hold. Hassan seemingly in control right now here in round number 3 of this 141-pound preliminary bout. The winner will advance to the championship.
See, Philpot is not doing enough in there. He's just moving forward with his hands up. He's not throwing punches. When he gets his man inside like that, he needs to go to the body. Hassan's torso and chest are wide open. The best thing that Philpot could do is put his head on the chest of Adam Hassan and then just rip shots to the body. He's not doing it, and he's not going to get enough points in this round to come out on top.
And he's definitely on the backside. You had in that last flurry a good right shot, good right hand by Adam Hassan against the head of Gary Philpot. Now here comes Hassan again. Philpot trying to get some blows off, but nice coverage that time by Adam Hassan. And he comes right back with a left to end round number 3 and gets a tremendous applause from this crowd here at Page Fieldhouse here at Camp Pendleton, California. A lot of action, a good stunning right hand by Adam Hassan. You get a look there. Philpot does all he can do to cover up, but Hassan uses his reach and takes Philpot and puts him over against the ropes. Philpot flailing just a little bit and not able to land the scoring blows against Adam Hassan, as Hassan has been landing him against Philpot.
Fighting out of the blue corner from Bronx, New York, Adam Hassan.
There is your official announcement. Adam Hassan, the winner of this 141-pound preliminary bout.
Congratulations, Adam Hassan, all the way here from the boogie down. Boy, you could just do it all. You could box from the outside. You could lay the leather. What do you feel now after that exciting contest?
I'm just grateful I have a good coach. They definitely helped me through the fight. They gave me some key points to help me pull the win, so I'm very appreciative.
You said it before the fight that one of your greatest strengths is your power. Where do you get that power from?
I think it's genetic.
And what are your hopes here for the rest of this tournament?
I'll put on the next show, and I'll put on a good show on Friday.
Well, congratulations, everyone. Let's hear it for your winner from the Air Force, Adam Hassan.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Adam Hassan, the winner. When we come back, we'll have more boxing from Page Fieldhouse here at Camp Pendleton, California, and the Armed Forces Boxing Championships. We're back ringside at Page Fieldhouse here at Camp Pendleton, California, getting ready for our next bout in the 141-pound weight class. In this bout, Sergeant Jamel Herring of the United States Marine Corps faces off against Private First Class Max Ramos of the Army in this 141-pound preliminary bout. Jamel Herring hails from Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. He calls home Coram, New York. He is currently ranked #1 in the country. We caught up to him earlier. Let's hear what he had to say.
This is important to me as a Marine because the Marine Corps hasn't won this in 20 years. So I'm here, you know, just to play my part as much as possible as a leader and as a boxer. So I'm just here for basically off of pride. This past November, I just got promoted to sergeant, so it's more responsibility for me. So boxing, you know what I'm saying, discipline and being a leader, it's like they work hand in hand in terms of boxing and as a Marine.
His opponent, Max Ramos of the United States Army. He's got 12 years of boxing, but he has a big challenge ahead of him. Well, let's see what he had to say.
I'm very excited to be competing here, not just because, you know, this is where I grew up. You know, it's California, it's my hometown. I have family coming over, and I'm very excited just to be here and facing Jamel Herring, you know, which I heard about him. You know, he's a good fighter, tough fighter, and, you know, it's the first time I get to actually fight him. So, you know, it should be a good, exciting fight for me and a good experience. Usually he's pretty smart at boxing, so, you know, just counterpunch him, you know, make him come to me, and we go from there. We'll adjust how the fight will dictate, you know, and we'll just adjust to it.
Herring and Ramos, how does this one set up to you, Castle?
You know, Van, Ramos really has his hands full for a couple of reasons. For one, Herring is from my backyard in Coramside, New York, so there's a little personal touch there. Secondly, he is probably one of the most personable kids in this tournament, and most importantly, Jamel Herring is ranked #1 in the world. Had the pleasure of watching him in Baku, Azerbaijan just a short while ago at the 2011 World Championships. He is our U.S. Olympian in this weight class. He gets to go back to the Nationals later this month in Colorado Springs to refight for his position and hopefully go on to the World Continental Qualifier in Brazil later this year. Jamel Herring, he may just be our 2012 Olympic representative in London.
Well, this one's getting ready to get underway. Let's head to the ring.
He's an electrician stationed out of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, weighing in at 141 pounds. He's the defending Armed Forces champion and the 2011 Olympic trial winner. Put your hands together for Sergeant Jamel Herring. And making his way to the blue corner, representing the United States Army from Santa Ana, California, this combat engineer is stationed at Air Defense Artillery Company at Fort Bliss, Texas. Weighing in at 141 pounds, let's hear it for Private First Class Maximino Ramos. Your referee is Mr. Spencer Carpenter.
Well, the boxers have come into the squared circle, been introduced to the crowd here at Page Fieldhouse here in Camp Pendleton, California. Jamel Herring boxing out of the red corner, wearing the red jersey and, of course, the red trunks. You look at their boxing gloves, you see the red gloves on Herring. And out of the blue corner, Max Ramos of the Army. He's got the Army black and gold headgear, and, of course, the blue gloves with the white tip portion. Our third man in the ring, Spence Carpenter. And there's the bell. Round one is underway in this 141-pound preliminary weight class. Nice quick shot early on by Jamel Herring. No two ways about it. Herring is the man to beat, the #1 boxer in this weight class. He's the 2011 Armed Forces champion, 2010 World Military Games silver medalist, and the two-time North Carolina Golden Gloves champion. I mean, he's got credits and titles galore. And you see the quick combo right there by Jamel Herring, and then he steps quickly out of the way of Max Ramos. Ramos from Fort Bliss, Texas. He's a combat engineer. And he's a southpaw too, Castle.
One thing you'll notice is actually, Van, you're right on. They're actually both southpaws, and you could see them dancing here. Jamel Herring, very poised in there. He's got a lot of experience, both domestic and international.
And here comes Ramos, and you know, it's tough when you got to go up against somebody with the credentials of Jamel Herring. I don't care who you are. It's tough, but credit Ramos because early on here in this first round, he has stepped up, got on the receiving end of one that time. But no matter how strong the blow, it could be a hard punch. It only counts 1 point if 3 out of 5 officials see it. There comes Ramos now, but quickly Herring steps back. And now they're going to have a quick officials timeout to adjust the chin strap on the protected headgear. If you see that headgear, it wraps around the side of the face, protects the jaws, and a large portion of the head. All right, back underway.
Yeah, you see some nerves here, just a little bit, and it's understandably so by Maximino Ramos, but as the shorter boxer, he needs to stay busier. He needs to, again, get on the chest of Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring, you could just see the confidence. It's oozing out of him.
You do. I mean, you see the savvy, you see the experience, you see the strategy just coming into play. Now, that's not in his game book. Not in the corner. Not for Jamel Herring, but credit Max Ramos who put him there.
Yeah, and Jamel Herring, you know, it looks good for the fans out here and out there watching on the Pentagon Channel, but you got to remember fundamentals are just so important, more so in boxing than any other sport, and Jamel Herring cannot lose sight. He cannot forget what got him here. He needs to continue to box smart, and score points, or he could find himself surprised by a hard-charging Maximino Ramos.
And they tie up again. Referee Spence Carpenter tells him to break and to step back.
I'd like to see a few more combinations by Herring. Work off that jab. He seems to be more interested in throwing one or two punches from the outside and dancing his way. Maximino Ramos is going to have to put in a little more pressure and cut off the ring of Jamel Herring to try and score some points here in the first round.
Throwing wildly, and there was a punch after referee said break. You take one step back and then you commence boxing again. As over to the corner goes Max Ramos to get that headgear readjusted. Charles Leverett, his coach in the United States Army. Making the adjustments, ready to go, and that's the end of round number one. So round number one comes to a close.
Deep breaths.
Meanwhile, let's see what
Charles Leverett has to say. We've been in this situation. Being down 7 or 8 points only means that we need 9 to win. Don't give up no more and cut it in half this round. Next round, we'll take the lead, okay? Take your feet with you, son.
You just heard some good advice from the corner of Maximino Ramos. Not only does he need to score a lot of points here, he needs to use his feet to do so. He needs to get inside. Jamel Herring boxing a pro-style fight here from the outside, just pot-shotting his opponent. He wants to score more points if he can and keep Ramos off of him. Ramos, on the other hand, needs to get inside and needs to get busier.
Well, I thought Jamel Herring got good counsel from his coach, Jesse Ravella. Herring leading Ramos at the end of the first round 7-1. He got that done in workmanlike fashion, but Ravella seemed to think that he was fighting Ramos's fight. And that's when Ramos gets in doing what he's doing right now and tying up Jamel Herring.
That's right, and I don't know that Herring wants to do that. He should not fight Maximino's fight. He should stay on the outside, use his savvy, use his long, rangy jab, and try and throw a few more combinations. There's a nice hook by Herring to land on the right side of Ramos's head.
Good scoring blow by Jamel Herring, who neatly steps aside after he delivers the blow.
Yeah, that lateral movement is so important. Throw your punch, turn your opponent, make him follow you, and keep him off balance. Brilliantly done by Jamel Herring.
You know, you watch Jamel Herring's footwork and you take a look at his speed, and the other thing that he has is he's got his body behind his punches, Castle.
Yeah, he sure does. I mean, he's had some of the best coaching as well in the world, not only here with Jesse Ravella, but with head Olympic coach Joe Zanders, taking him to Baku, Azerbaijan. So, I mean, he's got international experience, he's got world-class coaching behind him, and he's got a lot of poise and personality in the ring as well.
And also right now, Castle, I believe that Jamel Herring is on the prowl. I think he's taking to heart what his coach told him after the first round. Make this your bout, make this your fight, don't box his.
Yeah, and now you see Jamel Herring really starting to pull away. I mean, the key of this sport to hit and not be hit, Jamel is engaging, advancing when he needs to. He retreats and stays on the outside when he has to. And you know, Ramos, we knew he had a tough challenge coming in here, and Jamel Herring really showing his pedigree here in round two.
Round number two, the winner of this bout will move on to the championship bout of the 141-pound weight class to box Adam Hassan. And referee Spence Carpenter says, watch the elbows. Oh, there's a good shot. Landed by Jamel Herring. You talk about quickness. He is quick. Ramos, though, doesn't back down. I got to respect that. I have to admire that, as a matter of fact.
Oh, well, come on, Van. We're at the Armed Forces Boxing Championships. You know they only bring tough fellas here to this dance.
That's the spirit that we talked about at the top of the broadcast. One man in the ring, but the whole team's right there with him. In fact, the whole service is right there. And there's the bell to end round number 2.
You gotta let your jab go. Throw your straight left hand, straight. Don't wing it. Straight left hand, he's gonna run into it. And then once you land with the left hand, make a small move. Don't go back so fast, man. Because you're lounging again. When you're coming back and lounging, you're throwing desperate shots, man. This guy shouldn't be in the inside like that. He got no business tying you up in the inside.
And most importantly, they're asking Herring to stay away from that inside boxing that Ramos is bringing to him.
Round number 3, 141 pounds. Jamel Herring in the red. Max Ramos in the black and gold. Herring led after round number 1 by the score of 7-1. He led after the second stanza 14-3. So call it workmanlike, call it skill, speed, whatever you wish. But Herring dominated each of the first 2 rounds. His coach, however, Jesse Ravello, Castle, wants him to be even more so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense. That's smart, sound advice by the corner of Jamel Herring. He's the taller boxer. He's a more experienced boxer. He's the faster boxer. There's no need. Doesn't need to stand inside, just like he's doing through rounds 1 and 2. Box from the outside, throw those combinations, and keep his man at the end of his long jab.
And it's a little tough to see perhaps from where you are, but you have a slight trickle of blood, I believe, coming from the nose of Max Ramos. Testimony to the force of those blows by Jamel Herring. Ramos got one in that time.
Ramos needs to let his hands go. It's right then and there when he has the opportunity to stay on the chest of Herring, that he needs to let his hands go. He can't just stay tied up in there. He's losing valuable time and energy. Throw your body shots.
But don't you think, Cass, if he lets his hands go too much and he opens himself up, that he knows Jamel Herring could basically put him away?
Well, you know, the problem is that with, 12 points down here in the 3rd round, it's going to be almost impossible for Ramos to come back on the score. He may only have one chance at winning this contest, and that's by stopping his man. And he's not going to be able to do that if he doesn't throw his hands.
Jamel Herring, not a man that is stopped easily. And of course, he's got the Marine faithful right here in Camp Pendleton, California, rooting him on. This is a preliminary bout. Again, the winner will face Adam Hassan in the championship.
There you see some nice lateral movement by Herring. He threw that right hand and quickly stepped to his left and caused Ramos to turn, once again keeping him off balance. So great work, just fundamentally sound, Jamel Herring.
Jamel Herring has done just that, Castle. He's fought a very sound, fundamental boxing match. And again, this is preliminary. There's a nice flurry, a quick combination by Jamel Herring. Our referee, Spence Carpenter, ready to move in. He could give an 8 count at any particular time. As this bout has become a little bit lopsided. Quick right, stepping out of the way from Jamel Herring. Quick left, steps out of the way.
And you gotta hand it to Ramos. He's got a lot of heart. The Army sends a really tough crew here to this event, and Ramos putting on a good showing. I mean, he's doing the best he can, and there's no quitting this youngster, that's for sure.
Now, the Army won this competition last year over the Marine Corps. Marines hoping to turn the tide on that this year in the 2012 edition.
You know, it's been 20 or so years, Van, since the Marines have won here at the Armed Force Boxing Championship. There's a lot of pride on the line here tonight.
And there's the bell to end round number 3. This bout, this 141-pound preliminary matchup between the Marine Corps and the Army comes to a close. And you saw Jamel Herring give a classy boxing performance. You talk about Olympic-style boxing where the objective is to stick, move, score. You don't have to knock your opponent out in order to take dominant control of the bout. You just need to be able to outscore him in such a way that you become the dominant winner. And that's pretty much what happened with Jamel Herring in the United States Marine Corps in this particular bout. Our official scorecard reads 22-3. Let's go to the ring for the official announcement.
These two warriors. And your winner, fighting for the United States Marine Corps, out of the red corner, Jamel Herring.
Castle Chalice is with our champion.
Jamel, what are we going to do? Here we are again, our willing dance partner indeed. Great job in there tonight, man. How do you feel?
I feel a little bit sluggish, but I feel good about the win, though.
You know, your corner was asking you to stay on the outside and box and utilize your natural strengths, but it seemed like you wanted to get in there and slug it out with him.
Well, that wasn't my game plan, but, you know, I had to adjust. I was just a little bit off my timing today, but I'll pick it up by the end of the week, so.
How does it feel to be fighting right here in your home base at Camp Pendleton?
Oh, it feels good. Right? That's what I came here for, you know what I'm saying? Fight for my Marines.
Well, the pride of Coram side, Jamel Herring, everyone, let's hear it.
Jamel Herring, our winner in this 141-pound bout. Our defending champion in this weight class will now advance to the championship bout against Adam Hassan. Stay tuned. We're back with more from the 2012 Armed Forces Boxing Championship right after this. We're back ringside here at Page Fieldhouse at Camp Pendleton, California, and the 2012 Armed Forces Boxing Championships. Next up on our card, the gold medal bout in 141 pounds. It's going to be Senior Airman Adam Hassan representing the United States Air Force, coming out to meet his opponent from the Marine Corps, Sergeant Jamel Herring. Hassan is a cyber transport system journeyman. He's got 3 years of boxing. He earned his way into this championship bout. Let's see what Hassan has to say prior to the competition.
I like to pressure fight. You know, although I'm long, I kind of like fighting on the inside. I don't really use my height that much. I'd rather just sit in there and mix it up. You know, I picked up boxing in the Bronx, so I'm grateful for that. I boxed for about maybe a year and a half straight, then joined the military. Then about a year or two in, I started boxing again. So I've been going on for about 3 years now. Growing up in the Bronx, just tough streets, so you know, you just have that kind of tough mentality, but the boxing kind of evened me out. You know, it just kept me focused and just gave me more discipline, so I just became a better person, I believe.
I'll pose for the camera, I'ma let them get a view. The ladies always love it when I'm doing what I do.
I'd rather be boxing, keeps me entertained and it gets me in great shape. So it keeps me, you know, better airman all around. I'm more fit, more disciplined, I'm more focused.
Sergeant Jamel Herring of the United States Marine Corps is no stranger to this competition whatsoever. He was not only in the ring last year, but fought well in his earlier bout. He's excited to be here. Let's see what Herring had to say prior to coming into the ring.
Boxing is a discipline sport, and in the Marine Corps, it takes a lot of discipline, you know, to be a leader. I just want to maintain my focus and discipline, you know. I don't take anything, anybody or anything for granted. I enjoy, you know, coming to the Armed Forces tournaments, the atmosphere, the competition between all the services, but in the end, you know, we're all on the same team. The Marine Corps hasn't won this in 20 years, so I'm here, you know, just to play my part as much as possible as a leader and as a boxer.
Adam Hassan and Jamel Herring. You've got the long Hassan, the experienced Herring. What do you see out of this bout, Castle?
Yeah, you know, you said it just right. I was really impressed earlier in this competition with Hassan. 6'2", he's got a 4-inch height advantage over the experienced Jamel Herring, but Herring's steady as a rock. He's been here before. He's defending his title. He's got an international experience as well, having gone to the World Championships recently in Baku, Azerbaijan. Hassan's got nothing to lose here. I don't think many people give him a chance, but They call him the Prince. If he could do his thing here tonight, he will walk out of the ring a king.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain, a gold medal on the line. Let's get to the action.
Weighing in at 141 pounds, he's the St. Louis Golden Gloves champion and the National Brown Gloves champion. Let's hear it for Senior Airman Adam Hassan. And making his way to the blue corner, representing the United States Marine Corps. From Coram, New York, he's an electrician stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Weighing in at 141 pounds, he is the defending Armed Forces champion and the 2011 Olympic trial winner. Let's hear it for Sergeant Jamel Herring.
Well, into the ring steps Sergeant Jamel Herring of the United States Marine Corps. He is not only the defending champion, but he's also the crowd favorite right here at Camp Pendleton, California, here in Page Fieldhouse. Don Rivera will be our third man in the ring as round number 1 gets underway. 141 pounds. A little cautious, 2 stand-up boxers. For Herring, though, you could probably look for some pretty good footwork and some pretty good speed, but right now they trade blows. And Jamel Herring comes out of that little encounter with a 1-0 lead. Hassan down low, trying to come up, but mostly wind.
You know, one of the things you clearly notice right out the gate, we spoke about it earlier, the height difference. 6'2" for Hassan and only 5'10". That 4 inches could become very handy to Hassan if he could use it to his advantage by using that jab, keeping his distance and trying to keep Herring off of him. But Herring, a very schooled, international and savvy world-class boxer. Hassan certainly has his hands full tonight.
Hassan does have his hands full, Castle. His opponent, Jamel Herring, misses with the left right now. Still has a narrow 1-0 lead, but he's got a lot of credentials. He's got credits to his game already, being the 2011 Armed Forces champion. He was also the 2010 World Military Games silver medalist. And I might add that our winner of this bout will move on to represent the Armed Forces at the World Military Boxing Championships coming up the first week in June in Kazakhstan.
You know, one thing I really like about Hassan, and we said this in his preliminary bout, is he's a pretty aggressive fighter. He has a come-forward style, and that's not something you see that often with a taller boxer. And, you know, Herring, very skilled. He's got great defensive. He's boxing in the southpaw stance. But again, if Hassan keeps the pressure on and uses that jab, I think he stands a good chance of giving Herring a run for his money.
Well, Herring decides to go up with his gloves. Both of these boxers are former participants in the Golden Gloves competition. Herring is a 2-time North Carolina Golden Gloves champion, while Hassan is a champion from St. Louis Golden Gloves.
So you just saw some of that experience, that international experience and that ring experience come through for Herring with that beautiful left-hand counterpunch. Counterpunching is an art. It's not something you learn early on in the sport. It's something that only comes with time. You start with the fundamentals, the jab and the footwork and the defense. Counterpunching you learn later on in your boxing education. And Jamel Herring clearly has got a lot of experience in that regard.
We're under 20 seconds remaining here in round number 1. Jamel Herring taking his lead up to 6-1 right now over Adam Hassan.
You know, Hassan needs to just stick to the game plan. He cannot get flurried. He cannot get bothered by the flashiness of Jamel Herring. Just stick with the game plan and use the jab. Right now, he shouldn't be just bouncing his hands around. He should be throwing the jab.
There's the bell to end round number 1 as both boxers go to their corners.
Okay? He's doing all that.
Hassan in the red corner.
We don't need that. You need to step it up. Either do a feint,
Let's hear what his coach has to tell him.
Make a mistake, and you need to counter that. All right? When you get inside,
Steve Frankel, the coach,
you got to rough him up
talking
inside.
to Adam Hassan.
If not, he's going to hold you. He's going to hit you behind the head and all that. Okay? Most of those punches that are scoring are slaps. Okay? I need solid punches from you. All right? I need you to commit with your shots. Okay? Bad intentions on those shots. Get up.
You hear Steve Franco talk about needing some commitment behind those punches, and he's right. It looks like Hassan may have a little bit too much respect for Herring. Understandably so. Again, he's only been boxing for 3 years compared to Herring's 11, but he's going to need to understand that at this level, there is no second-guessing yourself. Hard punches, straight punches, and lots of heart.
Here we go, round number 2. Jamel Herring, the more active of the two boxers in round number 1, takes a 6-1 lead going into this stanza. Hassan, though, trying to become the aggressor, gets tied up as both boxers push away. Break, take one step back, and then come back out boxing. That's exactly what they did. Hassan has that long reach, but I can't but believe and think that he just might walk into a punch of Jamel Herring.
Yeah, you know, Herring is sneaky, and he's savvy, and he knows what he's doing. He's thinking a few steps ahead of his opponent and what he wants to do next, whereas it seems as though Hassan is reacting in the moment.
When Hassan extends himself, that's when he might be leaving himself open. Let's see.
And don't forget, it's that crafty hook by Herring, because Hassan is going to throw out that left-handed jab, and it's a long jab, and unfortunately for him, he's not pulling it back that fast. When he throws it out there, he kind of leaves it out there, leaving himself wide open for a counterhand right by Jamel Herring.
He could walk into that. He could really walk into that left hook if he's not careful. A lot of movement here in the second round, but there's only been one scoring blow, and that was from Jamel Herring, who leads 7-1 now as we come to the midpoint in this 3-round championship bout. Less than 1:30 remaining here in round number 2. You got Jamel Herring trying to cut the ring off of Adam Hassan. He'll just continue to go up to the head. Did not land scoring blows, however. And he lost his balance. Fell backwards, did Adam Hassan. And so he simply gets up and gets the gloves cleaned off. Here comes Herring. He's stuck him that time. An 8 count. Given by our third man in the ring. Don Rivera allows Adam Hassan to recover. And Herring wants to stick him again if he can. He does not want to leave this up to the judges any way, shape, or form. He's got a commanding lead at 11-1 right now. Both boxers tying up near the center of the ring. And there's the bell to end round number 2. We'll return to more of the Armed Forces Boxing Championships from Camp Pendleton, California, right after this message. Welcome back to Page Fieldhouse here in Camp Pendleton and the Armed Forces Boxing Championships as we get set for round number 3 of this 141-pound gold medal match. If he throws those straight punches, Jesse Ravella thinks he'll get the job done. Here we go, round number 3. Jamel Herring leading 11-1. Sticks one in there, picks up an additional point.
And right now, it's important for Hassan not to lose focus. Sure, he's down 11 points, but he's got a full round here. If he could try and stay on top of Jamel Herring and maybe stem the tide, he just scored 1 point right there.
But the point that he scored is only the second point. Lands a nice left, did Hassan.
I don't know how Hassan didn't get a score for that one. That was a straight left hand.
He landed a beautiful left one, but it doesn't show on the computerized board that we happen to have our eyes on.
I got to tell you, that also stunned. Did you see the look on Herring's face? Boy, he was not expecting that one. That's the aggressive nature of Hassan that we spoke of earlier. He's still got that fire in the pit of his belly.
Hassan losing his balance a little bit. You saw Herring try to connect with an uppercut, but referee stops in real quick to push him apart.
Box!
Boxer's always in danger when he's going down to the canvas.
Yeah, it's very important.
Of a continued onslaught.
That's correct, and it's always important for the boxers to listen to the referee's instructions. When they say break, it's important to break. Or that's how injuries happen, and that's also how points get deducted when fouls occur.
13-3 right now in favor of Jamel Herring, as we have a minute and a half remaining in this bout. 141 pounds for the Armed Forces gold. Herring continue to put up the pressure. Jamel Herring, ranked #1 in the country.
Yeah, he was out there in Azerbaijan just a few months ago with the U.S. Olympic team. He earned his spot at the trials in Mobile, Alabama earlier this year. He lost he lost that seat when he came back from Azerbaijan, and I know he wants another crack at it. He'll be going to the reloads and nationals later this year and then try and requalify for the Olympic team in London.
His goal is to become an Olympic champion. Of course, you might say that's every young boxer's goal, but quite honestly, Castle, I wouldn't say it's out of his reach.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Hey, he proved himself in Mobile to be the #1 boxer in this country at this weight class. He's getting a little cocky right here. He should remember to continue to conduct himself as the champion that he is and finish this fight with dignity and pride.
Hassan picked up a couple of more points, but way on the backside of this scorecard. Oh, as he sticks him with the left, does Herring. Almost could have commanded an 8 count. He didn't get it, however. Hassan takes another combination, 19-5, as we come down to the final seconds of round #3. There it is. Sergeant Jamel Herring wins Armed Forces gold in the 141-pound weight class. Winning on the judges' scorecard in this decision, 19-5. We take a look back at how this bout went. The long reach of Adam Hassan was not enough, but the countering of Jamel Herring is what racked up the points. Herring slips in with the left hand. Hassan responds, but another quick left on a counter by Jamel Herring, and then a quick, artful dancing footwork to get out of the way. And that's pretty much the way this bout went through all 3 rounds, as Herring wins the gold medal at 141 pounds. Let's go to the ring now for our official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, your presenter for the gold and silver medals of the 141-pound weight class is Brigadier General Colonnaise he's the Commanding General of Marine Corps Installations West. And now, the gold medal goes to the fighter representing the United States Marine Corps, Sergeant Jamel Herring.
And the Marines here in Camp Pendleton certainly love it when one of their own wins a gold medal like Jamel Herring.
Well, Jamel, congratulations, man. Here we are once again. How are you feeling right now?
Good. I feel good. First of all, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here. Also, I want to thank my team, my staff, the Marines out there, Julio and Yesenia for coming out here to support me, and my brother Gerard back at home. Thank you all.
How important is it for the Marines to win this tournament this evening?
Oh, it's very important. We're trying to make history. You know, the Army always comes with a tough team, so we're just out here trying to do our part to put ourselves back in history.
Jamel, I was with you in Azerbaijan just a couple of months ago. You went there with something very valuable, but you did not come back with it. What's next for you?
I'm going to go to the U.S. Men's National next month and hopefully keep our #1 spot in the country and represent the Marine Corps in London in 2012 Olympics.
Well, there you hear it, everyone. An Olympic hopeful. Hopefully the next time we all see him, it'll be on NBC Boxing. This is the Pride from Corumside, your winner from the Marine, Sergeant Jamel Herring.
So Jamel Herring, gracious in victory over his opponent, Adam Hassan. Jamel Herring, the gold medalist in the 141-pound weight class. Well, that'll do it from Page Fieldhouse here at Camp Pendleton, California. A special thanks to all of you watching on the Pentagon Channel. This has been a production of TPC Sports, serving those who serve. For Castle Chalice and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Ben Stokes saying so long, everyone.